more on the elections. Eric Farnsworth, Vice President, Council of the Americas. It looks like it's going to be a runoff December 15th. That doesn't come as a surprise to you. Do you still think it's a slam dunk at that point?
Well, it's never a slam dunk when a field of 9 candidates gets narrowed down to 2 candidates, but I think that Michelle Bachelet would still be the favored candidate, probably by a lot.
And this is the first presidential election where you don't have to go out and vote. And a lot of people are electing not to, does that come as a surprise?
I think it comes as a surprise in terms of the number who haven't voted, and that has had implications in terms of the actual results, because I think what we'll find once the results are known over the next couple days is that a lot of people might have assumed that Michelle Bachelet would win in the first round, and so they just stayed home. They didn't think that they needed to go out to vote, and by suppressing the vote, if you will, voluntarily, to be sure, but still, she didn't get the votes she might have needed to get to be fully elected in the first round. So I think that the lower voter turnout actually had implications for the election results today.
Let's say she pulls off the win in December 15th in the runoff election. What type of dramatic changes are we likely to see?
Chile's not a country where drama is actually in their political DNA, which is probably a good thing. They shift, but it tends to be very centrist. And Michelle Bachelet has been president before. You will see changes, but I don't think it's going to be wholesale change. Having said that, she has run on a platform of more social development. An example, for example, would be free college education, more spending for social development, higher taxes on the wealthy. And so you may see a little bit more along those lines. And frankly, a lot of the people in her coalition this time are of the younger generation, people who are really weren't even alive during the Pinochet years, which ended 23 years ago. So a lot of the people have no particular memory of those years of the dictatorship. They want to look to the future. They want a better life. They want education that works. They want jobs. They want health care. That's on which basis the election was fought.
They may not remember the dictator, but these two top candidates certainly do, and their stories are kind of connected in a way and yet very unique. Talk to us about that.
It's a fascinating personal story. If you take the politics aside, I mean, you have 2 women, and that's important too, because you have 2 leading candidates in a Latin American country who are both women. That's social change there, but who grew up literally across the street from each other, and their families grew up across the street. And they were both part of the military, their fathers were, during the dictatorship, and one was rewarded by the dictatorship, and one was really oppressed by the dictatorship. And it's really encapsulates in these 2 families the story of Chile and how it really divided, and those divisions still exist. They are deep. But again, what the Chileans are looking for now is can you position yourself going forward in an economy that may be slowing as copper prices go down and as people are having higher expectations that sometimes it's a little bit more difficult to meet those. And that's on which basis the election is moving forward.
Our largest audience is in China here in the United States, and we hear so much in both of those countries about income inequality, and that was also a major issue in this campaign as well. Can she do anything to address that, narrow it?
Well, again, through education, that's part of the reason for that, and by higher taxes on the wealthy. But Chile actually has done a very good job in terms of poverty reduction and has a very good story to tell broadly in the Latin American context. So it's a good story. It could be better. And that's what she's going to really aim for if she's elected in the runoff on December 15th.
We don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, do we? Eric Farnsworth. That's one thing about politics. You can never tell. Thanks so much.
Thank you.